soda and tobacco are more alike than you think. For years, soda companies have been pushing the argument that lack of exercise is what contributes to weight gain and not calorie intake. And Coca-Cola, the world's largest producer of sugary beverages, is leading the charge by actually funding their own research.
The soda giant donated millions to spread the message that Americans pay too much attention to what they eat and drink instead of focusing on how much they exercise.
This sounds familiar.
I believe that nicotine is not addictive.
Studies began linking smoking to cancer in the 1940s, but it wasn't until 1965 that Congress slapped a warning label on tobacco packages and banned radio and TV advertising. For nearly half a century, Big Tobacco denied health risks, and in 1988, when concerns over secondhand smoke started to surface, the industry's leading companies joined forces to create the Center for Indoor Air Research, a nonprofit organization whose sole purpose was to bolster the claim that secondhand smoke was not hazardous to non-smokers. In 2013, beverage companies spent a whopping $866 million on advertising, the majority of it targeting kids and teenagers. Yeah, that Taylor Swift ad isn't trying to court the post-50 crowd here. And that's something Big Tobacco is very, very familiar with.
Let's take a Winston break. That's it!
And it's not all in the distant past. In 2011, over 90% of middle and high school students were exposed to pro-tobacco ads. Cigarettes have been taxed at the state and federal level since the early 1900s, but that hasn't stopped them from battling local regulation. In California, the last 17 attempts to raise the tobacco tax have failed. That's because from 2007 to 2014, the tobacco industry spent $64 million on lobbying efforts in the state. But it's actually the beverage industry that's winning this fight. More than 30 cities across the country have tried to implement a soda tax, and they've all failed because from 2009 to 2011, Coca-Cola, PepsiCo, and the American Beverage Association spent $70 million on anti-soda tax campaigns. Only one city in the U.S. has passed a law taxing sugary drinks, a tax that's likely to be highly effective at not only reducing consumption, but also saving billions in healthcare costs. A typical 20-ounce can of soda contains 15 to 18 teaspoons of sugar. But the World Health Organization, well, they recommend that sugar can only be 5% of your daily calorie intake. That's just 6 teaspoons of sugar per day. So let's stop pretending sugary drinks quench our thirst or open our happiness and treat soda like we treat tobacco. For HuffPost News, I'm Caitlin Becker.